Then we have Romantic theater. Now, while artists sought to free themselves from the shackles of neoclassicism, kind of moving beyond and trying to focus on the morbid, the intangible, things that you can't actually see, nightmares and psychology, in theater, they're still focused on Shakespeare. Theater has not come forward at the same level that we've seen elsewhere, with a couple of exceptions. We have Victor Hugo writing Les Mis and The Hunchback of Notre Dame. We also have Alexandre Dumas writing The Three Musketeers and other pieces. These are all deeply psychological or dealing with the morbid or the occult. Sort of these ideas that get away from the neoclassical, get away from Shakespeare, because it is ultimately fantasy when you look at these, either looking back into a history that never existed, in the case of Dumas, or looking at a period of time with these sort of fantastical lenses, Les Mis being deeply psychological, The Hunchback of Notre Dame being very morbid, being very really an interest in psychology and interest in the morbid. And then we have dance. Now, in terms of dance, ballet becomes like living painting at this point. Ballet has existed before the Romantic, but it's taking on a different form at this point. So when we look at ballet, it becomes like a living painting, really understood as a series of images. And we see the writing of Blasius, who's writing and codifying dance, not just ballet, but as many forms of dance as he can, really these formal dances that people had been passing really mouth to ear, or one person training another. Now it's being codified. Now we're developing that model that we'll use moving forward. We also see them training the dancers differently. They're going to train the dancers to have grace in every form, in every movement, and in every aspect of their life. So in other words, imagine being a dancer and being told you need to eat gracefully. You need to walk and move gracefully, not just on the dance floor, but anywhere. So the idea here is if you can do it in life, then you will do it on stage. It will be subconscious. They will again try to focus on the otherworldly, the sublime, making the imaginary real. And of course, in ballet, that's a lot easier to do, because ballet, by its very nature, is an abstraction of the human condition. So it becomes easier here. We also see the Russians getting involved. Russian dance will follow this Romantic model. It continues to follow this Romantic model to this day. And when the Russians get involved, they get deeply involved in the psychology side of it, sort of how the human condition develops and forms. So from the Russian school, we get Swan Lake, as well as the Nutcracker, both dances that are happening really within dream states, within someone's mind.